kind bars. People think these are healthy. Well, these are what you call ultra processed. A ton of ingredients, sugar, vegetable oils, flavors, synthetic vitamins.
A grain-free cereal.
Mic check, mic check. This is the Midwest Perspective, your corn-loving commentator back from the busy season. And in today's video, I'm talking all things processed food. America seems to have an addiction to it, and I've got some crazy clips talking about how dangerous this garbage can be for you. Let's get right into it.
There is more and more data that's coming out to suggest that consumption of ultra-processed foods like frozen meals, sugary drinks, hot dogs, instant noodles will increase your risk of dementia. Data presented last week at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in San Diego suggested that consumption of these ultra-processed foods will increase your risk of cognitive decline. They studied 10,000 patients and found that patients that consume more than 20% of their diet on ultra-processed foods had an increased rate of cognitive decline as compared to the others over 6 to 10 years. Now, this is really important data because 58% of all calories that are consumed within the United States are from ultra-processed foods. Now, this should really be no surprise because physical health and mental and cognitive health are tightly intertwined. That would suggest that as little as 100 calories, which would be like one cookie, could potentially affect your risk of dementia long term.
If eating a cookie's gonna give me dementia, I can't wait for me and the boys to all be sitting in our senior homes 50 years from now with dementia because I'm eating the cookie. To be real though, I think it goes without saying that eating garbage food that creates a lot of mental issues, addictions, lack of movement, and overall poor health will cause bad outcomes. I think it's gonna be an interesting couple of years here with RFK in office to see what he does on the health side. But speaking of RFK, he mentions eating whole foods, eating healthy. Let's see what happens when our fellow Americans like myself go to Europe and miraculously lose 5 pounds in a single week, eating the same exact food.
Look how much weight I'm losing in Italy. Like, what?
This beautiful human is talking about how she's losing weight in Italy, but all she's eating is pasta, pizza, and ice cream. What's going on here? That's because countries that are not the US actually have better quality food. In the US, literally all of our food is extremely processed, even foods that you think are healthy. Much of our crops are sprayed with pesticides, our food is being processed, added with things like fillers and preservatives, which are all hormone disrupting chemicals, and we know these types of ingredients can alter our metabolic function, our hormone production, and can make us gain weight. And many of these ingredients are actually banned in other countries because they know that they can cause harm. But I think we all know by now that the US doesn't want people to get healthy. They profit off of people being and staying sick, and they like to silence practitioners like myself who are actually helping to get people healthy.
It goes without saying, shocker that the US seems to want to keep people sick. Got to make sure those pharma prices keep going up every quarter, am I right? It's interesting that during my time in the Nordics earlier this year, I pretty much ate whatever I wanted and still somehow lost weight on the way back. I think a big consideration, though, for folks when they live in Europe or they visit Europe is they don't realize how many steps they're making per day. I was averaging about 16,000 per day just going from place to place, whereas when I'm at home, or if worse, I'm in the suburbs, God forbid, I'm going to be driving with my car everywhere and may have days where I'm only at 4,000 steps. Pair that with very processed foods that affect your metabolic health, like mentioned in the video, and you're pretty much cooked. Now, we've seen the more educational take. Let's see some real-world examples of this processed garbage in action.
A grain-free cereal. Well, now that I know that I'm allergic to gluten, I should get this.
I need to teach people a lesson because people are always talking shit when I post my grocery hauls saying, oh, that's still a lot of processed food. Sure, this is still processed, but it has 2 ingredients, cashews and dates. Now let's look at something like these kind bars. People think these are healthy. Well, these are what you call ultra processed. Shit ton of ingredients, sugar, vegetable oils, flavors, synthetic vitamins. See what I mean? And this is ultra processed. So it has even more ingredients. So yeah, this is processed, but it's a hell of a lot better than this, Karen. Okay?
Try and buy anything in a grocery store in 2024, unless you're in the produce aisle, raw meats aisle, or you're in a farmer's market. At least 5 to 10 ingredients by default. Nutri-Grain, Hungry Man. If you ever want to see a crazy label, Hungry Man's labels on the back are so condensed you can't even read them. It's hard to read the ingredient count. But that's how we do it here in the US. And you want to pay for your healthy cereal? Just pay triple. And if you think it's already bad, let's see how bad the US is in comparison to the UK. It'll blow your mind.
I just moved to London from the US. The food quality here is so much better. Let me show you an example. So first I want to say these are free range eggs. They're not organic. Side note, they always say where their eggs are from, and these ones are British, which most of them are in the store. But anyway, I want to show you guys how much higher quality just a conventional free range egg is. In the US, a conventional egg yolk would be yellow. Don't believe me? Go crack one and compare it to the color that this will be. Look at how orange this is. I'm moving it to the light so you can get a better view, but like, that is nice. You want an oranger egg yolk because that means it has more nutrients in it.
In an ideal world, I think one of the biggest flexes anyone can have is a chicken coop in their backyard or a neighbor that has one for that all natural, super high nutrient egg that absolutely blows away any egg that you can get at a supermarket for like $9 a carton. I think it's now back to, $5, but yeah, it's interesting how some countries will just maximize output and reduce quality for price, like in the US. And then you've got other countries like in Europe, like in Japan, like in a lot of more developed countries outside of the US sphere of influence where they still really do care about food quality. It's something that I think the US is going to continue to get better at here in the next few years. And I also think that being local really does help with this. But that's all I've got for today. If you want to check out my other videos, I've got a bunch of different topics ranging from rent to inflation to cost of living, anything and everything you need. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like if you made it all the way to the end. Check out some of the videos right here and hope you have a great day. Peace.